Hi crochet friends, welcome back, or if you're new here, I'm Mo, your crochet companion. Today we're whipping up a beautifully textured hot pad that's both practical and stylish. This pattern is beginner friendly but has just the right amount of twist to keep things interesting. Why did the yarn get invited to every party? Because it always knew how to tie things together. Somehow I just want to say yuck, 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 yuck. Anyway, so let's tie things together literally and make a hot pad that's as durable as it is adorable. Okay, so let's go and we're going to start with what we are using. As you can see, I have two crochet hot pads here. One I did with the more black with the red, and then more red with a little bit black. And then today you and I are going to make one that is similar to this, only I'm going to do it in reverse color and a little bit different hook. So I've been doing a little bit of experimenting because I don't know, for some reason it just came out a little weird. It did some puckering and I didn't like that. So and I'll kind of explain as we go here. So this is going to be more like this one because we're going to use those colors. And let's go over what those colors are. So I got a chance to finally go to Hobby Lobby. My mama was ever so sweet as to give me a gift card to go to Hobby Lobby, which is awesome because I love this yarn. Literally, this is my favorite yarn because it's so soft. And let me tell you what, this thing, I almost don't want to use it as a hot pad. I would rather use it as a pillow because it's so soft and pliable. I can't stand it. I just love this. So anyway, these colors that I'm using are Rosy Cheeks and Spa. So it's kind of like a light sage and kind of a light dusty rose color. So that's the colors that we're going to use. Now with this pattern, I originally started with the pink. So I'm going to start this one with the green. All right, so we are going to use, oh, got myself snagged there. We are actually going to use a size 5mm hook or a size H. You can use a G. I believe I used a G for this one, but I'm going to try it with the 5 on this time to see, because this one kind of came out a little bit smaller and I like it bigger. The reason why I like it bigger because man, does it lay great underneath a pan, or if like say you are taking something hot out of the microwave and you can just set it right on top of there. I just absolutely love that. Then you don't have to go, ouchie, ouchie, ouchie on that bowl. You know what I'm talking about. The burn your fingers and you almost drop your bowl on the floor. Kind of ouchie. Okay, so we've discussed our needles. We're going to use our scissors. And we're going to use our, I use my Yarnology to contain my little needles. So we're going to use one of our lovely needles to weave in our ends. All right, so let's get started. Starting with the green, we are going to do a magic circle, and I made a promise that I would go really super slow and I would actually go over a couple different techniques on how to do a circle. So actually we're not going to start with the magic circle first. I'm actually going to start with a chain, but then I'm going to take it out because I don't want to use a chain for this one. So there's a couple of different ways that you can create a circle. The first one is just to do the chain method. You're going to create a chain, say 3 or 4 chains. And then you're going to take your crochet hook and you're going to insert it into that first stitch and do a slip stitch. And then from there you would actually just crochet a couple of chains and then crochet in that circle. So that would be like a double crochet, and then you're going to just crochet in the circle. Now this was great for me when I was a beginner. It made it easier for me to know and understand exactly where I needed to put my hook. Now there's another way you can create a circle using the chain method. This will actually make a tighter chain as well. So you're going to do that slip stitch and create your chain. So let's do a chain of 4 again. Okay. And instead of doing it in that first one, actually, yeah. But instead of actually doing a slip stitch in that first one and then crocheting in the middle, what we're going to do is I'm just going to actually do a double crochet in that first stitch. And then we're going to continue doing a double crochet in that very same stitch. So you see I've got that one stitch and I'm going to just keep on doing my double crochet in that same stitch. It's a wonderful way to kind of keep it a little bit tighter. And we can continue doing it this way, but I like doing the magic stitch myself. So I'm just using this as an example. So that's another way you could do start a circle pattern. For me, I am actually just going to do the magic circle because I like the magic circle. So let's go a little bit slower. And I've chosen a lighter color yarn so you guys can see it really well. I think I went a little too close. So I'm going to wrap my yarn around my fingers, okay? And making sure that I overlap just like that, okay? Now I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to go under and over. Then I'm going to scoop my yarn up. Whoops. Up and under. It's not cooperating with me. Up and over. I'm going to scoop that. We're going to take that one thread behind, pull it out so I can see it. We're going to grab our loop with both hands. This is kind of how I do it. I kind of squish it up. And then because I'm going to do a double crochet, we're going to chain 2. Okay. That will count as your first double crochet. Now, going over top of those chains over here on your left hand side, we're going to continue squeezing and holding onto that so I can keep a hold of that and keep it controlled. Then we're going to crochet over top of those 2 strands. And we're going to keep on crocheting over top of those. Now, for the black ones that I did, I actually did 12 crochet, or 12, oh my goodness, I'm even doing the wrong stitch. I actually did 12 half double crochets. So I'm going to have to do this over again. For this one, I'm actually going to do 10 half double crochets. So let's do this again. We're going to do a magic circle. We're going to go around our fingers, up and over. Then I'm going to take my hook underneath that first piece of yarn and over across the other one. I'm going to pull that up and grab that yarn and let it pull it back behind. And then we're going to do a chain of 2. Now, one of the things that makes it easier for me when I'm doing my magic knot is I make sure that my end is toward me when I'm wrapping it around my finger. Okay, so now I've got my magic loop, I've got my chain secure. Now I'm going to grab those two sides so I can control what I'm doing. And we're going to do our half double crochet in that over those two loops. So that first chain of 2 is going to count as our first half double. And then we're going to keep on going until we get to 10. So there's 3. Whoops. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now that I've got 10 on my hook, what we're going to do is we're going to find our loose end, and I'm going to pull that loose end until it starts forming a really tight circle. All right, beautiful, right? Now, to finish our loop, we're going to find our original stitch of 2, our chain of 2, and I'm going to slip stitch in that first chain of 2. And while I'm at it, I'm actually going to pull my one piece of yarn up here, up over my crochet hook, because I'm going to weave that in as I go. And of course I made it really tight, so, and there's your slip stitch. Now, as you're going to learn today, we're going to incorporate several things that I've actually been teaching you. So I've been teaching the front post and back post. I just started doing that last week, so if you haven't watched that yet, I would recommend doing that so that you can catch up with me, and then pause this one and come back. We're also going to be doing the front loop, oh no, excuse me, crochet in the back loop only. Half double crochet. We're also going to be doing a reverse single crochet, and then one of our journeying methods that I just taught you about and I learned myself is called the standing stitch. We're going to be using that as well. Okay, let me back up a little bit here. So now we're actually going to continue on to round 2. And round 2, all we're going to do is we're going to chain of 2. This counts as your first half double crochet. And then we're going to do another half double crochet in that very same stitch that we finished in. Let me get that a little bit closer so you guys know exactly where I'm putting my hook. So this is considered your first stitch. This is the one that I actually did that slip stitch in. So that's where you're going to put your first stitch of round 2. Shove that little thing in there and then pull that up, and we're going to do a half double crochet. Okay, now I'm going to back up again. Moving on, we are going to do a double crochet in each stitch around. It's being a brat. So by the time we're done with this round, you should have 20 stitches. Let's see if I can make sure that I say the right thing. I don't want you guys to go down the wrong path and then I have to put words above so that you can actually follow along. So, I don't know why I do that, but anyway. So I'm saying the right thing. We're going to do 2 half double crochets in each stitch around. On round 1, we did 10 half double crochets, and then at the end of this one, we are going to do 20 half double crochets. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, 17, 18, last stitch, 19, and 20. And as you can see, I've been crocheting over that tail the whole time. So now that I've crocheted it far enough in, I'm going to go ahead and snip it. I don't have to weave in an end. Look at that. Now, to finish the round, we're going to do a slip stitch in that second chain, the original chain 2 that you started with. We're going to slip stitch right in there. Okay, so that is the end of round 2, and now we are going to snip our yarn off. Ta-da! And we are going to be practicing our new standing stitch. All right, I'm going to switch our colors now. So the standing stitch on the first round, I'm actually going to do this a little weird. So, and you don't necessarily have to do it exactly like that. You can put it in any stitch, but this is the way I like to do it because it helps me keep myself organized. So you see that this one stitch, we finished with that one, right? I'm actually going to insert my hook right here, and then I'm going to insert my hook again in this stitch, this part of the stitch as well. It's just my way of being able to secure it. Now that we establish where I'm putting my hook, we're going to use our standing stitch. We're going to wrap our standing stitch around. And remember, with the standing stitch for half double crochet, you're going to wrap your yarn around twice, then you're going to insert your hook into the space that you want to put it. Meanwhile, making sure that you hold on to the new yarn with your thumb. And I'm going to insert my hook into those 2 spaces right there. Don't forget to grab that yarn with your thumb. We got a lot going on here. All right, so now we're going to pull that through. So now you should have 3 loops still on your hook. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull through all 3. Remember, on the half double, you're going to have to kind of loosen that up just a little bit so you can get up underneath it. There we go. Now, myself, I have been pulling that to the front. You can pull it to the back. Actually, let's give that a try and see what it looks like. I'm going to pull it to the back. No, I like it in the front. So I'm going to pull it to the front there. And then I'm going to crochet over those stitches. All right, so now we're going to do a front post. So on that same stitch that you just did the standing stitch in, you're going to do a front post. So, and don't worry, we're going to have plenty of time to do some practicing on that standing stitch because we're going to be changing yarns again here in about 2 rows. So the front post, if you remember, we're going to go from right to left and from front to back, or yeah, front to back. So I'm going to insert my hook into that same stitch that I just crocheted in. We're going to go from front, or right to left, front to back. Then I'm going to pull that yarn up and around, up, and we're just going to do a double crochet on that one. Now on the next stitch, so this stitch right here, we're going to go into that stitch. I'm going to do a half double crochet. On that same stitch, we're going to do a front post. So for front to back, left to right, or right to left, we're going to go up and around. Grab that, and away we go. We're going to do that double crochet again. Okay, next stitch. And you see that all the while I'm actually crocheting over my tails. So the next stitch, we're going to go in here. Very next stitch, we're going to go into that stitch. We're going to do a half double crochet. Actually, I think that, oh no, it didn't. I thought for a second I went into the space and not the actual stitch. Okay, same thing again. We're going to find that post. So this is the post. We're going to go from right to left, front to back, insert our hook and go around, grab our yarn, pull it up, grab our yarn, pull through 2, grab our yarn, pull through 2. So this is that double crochet front post. Now we're going to keep doing that until we get to the end. So you're going to do, and it's okay if you need to stop the video and rewind, that's okay. So we're going to do in the next stitch, we're going to do a half double. Then we're going to do another front post. So we're going to find that post right there. Go insert our hook from right to left, front to back. And then we're going to do our double crochet. As you can see, we're starting to see some flavor there. Okay, so you're going to keep doing that. You're going to do one stitch, one half double crochet, and then a front post double crochet. Okay, we're going to keep going until we get all the way around, okay? And I will meet you at the end of the row. All right, I made it back. Did y'all? I made it to the end of my row. So at this point, you should now have 40 stitches or 20 front posts. We're going to go ahead and take our crochet hook. We're going to find that. This one's going to be a little bit trickier because we actually used that standing stitch. So trying to find a spot to just put that hook, we're going to just kind of dive in there and just put it in there. Any kind of willy-nilly way. You know, actually, I'm going to use my smaller hook to do this. Because my smaller hook kind of is a little bit more pointed. Ugh. And then I completely missed my stitch. There we go. That looks good right there. Sometimes you gotta just improvise. All right, so we did a slip stitch in there. Now I'm gonna switch back to my other hook. Now this row is gonna be a little bit easier because now we've established a spot where our front posts go. So we're going to do a chain of 2. Then we are going to do, so this chain of 2 is going to count as your first half double crochet. And we're going to do another half double crochet in that same stitch. Then we do a front post double stitch in that next front post double stitch. So this will make it a little bit easier for you to find the post. Because it just kind of sticks out there like a sore thumb, right? Or, well, actually, probably just a pretty thumb, really. So we're going to do that front to back, right to left, around that front post, and do another front post. Then the next stitch, we're going to do 2 half double crochets. And then in the next stitch, we're going to do another double crochet, front post double crochet. And we do that all the way around. So 2 half doubles, a double crochet, or, yeah, 2 half doubles, a front post double crochet, 2 half doubles, got myself all twisted up there. Now where was I at? Oh, I already did one. We're going to do a second one, and we're going to do, well, that didn't look great. So that one I started taking the part of the post from the other stitch, and I don't want that. Okay, half double, and front post. Okay, we're going to keep doing that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end. Okay, I made it back to the end of the row. So now at this point you should have about 60 stitches. So all the way around you should have about 60 stitches, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in that first. So this is the chain 2 that we did on the beginning of that row. We're going to do a slip stitch in that second chain. And then we're going to finish that one off. Snip our yarn. And on to the next color we go. So we're going to go back to the sage green. So let's go a little bit deeper with this standing stitch, okay? Let's go back to it. All right, so we're going to do that half double standing stitch. Oof, try to say that 10 times fast. And the same thing that I did the last time we did this, we're going to go into that last part of that last single or slip stitch that we did, and then we're going to go into that same stitch that we went into in the beginning. Now I'm actually going to switch my hook while I'm doing this because it's a little bit tighter spot right there. All right, so now I'm going to grab my yarn. Now that we've established where we're going, we're going to do that yarn over twice before we insert our hook. Then we're going to insert our hook into those 2 spots. So right there and right there. Kind of fight with your tails a little bit. Hold on to them with your thumb. Grab our yarn, pull it up through. So now you should have 3 strands on your hook. Yarn over, pull up through 2. And then make sure you grab through that 3rd one. Okay, so now I'm going to switch my hook. I'm going to pull that tail toward the front, the green one, and the pink one. We're going to also grab it toward the front. Now, this one's just going to be a half double crochet in each stitch around. I am going to do a second half double crochet in that first stitch. Oh, hold on. I got to do that with the smaller hook. So I'm going to do a half double crochet in that same stitch that I just did that one in. There we go. Okay, now that I've got it through, I'm going to switch back over to my fatter yarn. Okay, so now I got all 3 of my strands on my hook again. I'm going to go all the way through all of those. There we go. All right, so now we're going to do a half double crochet in each one of those stitches around. Oh, excuse me, I'm so sorry. We actually need to do, believe it's 30 stitches, half double crochets. So 1 stitch in the next 30 stitches, then 2 in the next, and then just do a half double crochet in each stitch the rest of the way around. And the reason why we do that is because we need 62 stitches in that row. So by the time you're done, so we did 2 in this first stitch, and then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next, I'd say the next 29 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. As you can see, I'm still crocheting over my ends. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and then we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. And then we're going to do a half double crochet in each stitch to the end of the row. Now you'll notice if you are using the H or the 5, as I'm seeing here, I'm having a little bit of pucker. So it's up to you. If the pucker doesn't bother you, then go ahead and stick with the H. Otherwise, I would recommend just going back to the G. Maybe it's my stitch. I don't know. It's the way I stitch, I guess. But yeah, I'm seeing with the bigger hook, it does a little bit of a puckering, just like it did with my other yarn. I don't know what that was, but so I suppose you could do 12, but I'm finding that the 12 that we did, or the 10 that we did at the very beginning, was accurate. And anyway, so I will see you at the end of this row. Okay, made it to the end of the round, and yep, we sure are. We're seeing some pucker with the bigger hooks, so I would recommend just going back to the G. Or if you haven't started yet, I would just start with the G. Okay, so here now I'm going to switch back over to my G. So I can just insert that in there anywhere. And then I'm going to slip stitch right up there, just like that. Now, we're only doing 1 round with the green, and we're going to snip that, and we're going to go back to the pink. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the G. We're going to do our standing stitch, join. In that same method, we're going to go into this part of your stitch, and then again into this part of your stitch. So let me go a little bit closer. So this part, and then into this part. So this part, and then this part right here. So see that right there? That's where you're going to go, right there. Okay, we're going to start our standing stitch. Get yourself situated. Sometimes it feels a little clumsy. We're going to do a yarn over of 2 because we're going to start off with our half double crochet. I'm going to go into that part and then again into that part. Make sure I've got my yarn on under my thumb. I'm going to pull up and then we're going to yarn over and pull through those first 2 and then through that third one. Pull our yarn forward. We're going to do the front post double crochet in that same stitch. Or is it the next stitch? I believe it's the same stitch. Oh, I need to switch my crochet hooks. Sorry about that. And stick with my H, even though it's wrong, but I don't mind if it's kind of a little funky. I'm going to do that front post double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Or excuse me, half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to find our stitch. Maybe. Why is it not cooperating with me? Okay, so I'm gonna need that size G for this again. So it's just not cooperating. There we go. Oh, no. There we go. Got it. There we go. All right, back to our H like we're supposed to. Then we're going to do a half double crochet in the next stitch. Now this is the part that can be kind of tricky. So we're going to do a double crochet around the front post of the next stitch. So we need to make sure we're looking at our work and make sure that there's 2 vertical lines. So we're going to do, this is 1 stitch, this is 1 stitch. So we did a half double in those, and then we're going to go to the next stitch to do our front post. So when you go back and look at it, you're going to see that you have 2 stitches in between each front post. Then we're going to do half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. We're going to look at this again. So this was a stitch, this was our second stitch. So we're going to do our front post in the next stitch, the next post. Okay, I'm going to do that half double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch. And we're going to make sure that we count 1, 2 posts, and then it goes in the 3rd post. Half double crochet. Gonna go over our tails, our ends there. Another half double crochet. Make sure we're paying attention to our post. There's 1, 2, and then the 3rd post, we do a front post. Okay, continuing on, half double, make sure we have 1, 2, and then the 3rd one. So when we look at our work, we're always going to have 2 stitches in between each of those front posts around. So we're going to continue doing that. So we're going to do a half double crochet in 2 stitches, and then a front post in the next stitch. And I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, I made it to the end of my row, and hopefully you did too. So one thing that I noticed on this row, you actually can start it. So you see how we started it with 1 half double crochet, and then we went to the double front post. You actually can do 2 half double crochets and then do the front post. I mean, it's either way, it's going to work itself out because the count is correct. So if you did the way I did, you're going to end with a half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. If you do it with 2 half double crochets at the very beginning, then you're going to land with a front post at the very tail end. So for me, we landed on the half double crochet. So let's go ahead and switch over because I want a smaller hook so I can get into this standing stitch. So I'm going to poke my hook in there, just any old place, and do a slip stitch and pull on through. All right, so now we're going to go back to my fat hook, my H hook. I just keep doing that so that I can stay consistent. If I'm going to start with one hook, I really want to stay consistent and stay with it. So now we're going to do a chain of 2, and then the next, let's see, in that same stitch, we're going to do another half double crochet. And then we're going to do a front post around the front post. We're going to do a half double crochet in that next stitch, 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. A front post in the next front post, half double in the next stitch, 2 half doubles in the next stitch, and then a front post in the next stitch. And we're going to continue that pattern until we get to the end of that row. All right, we'll be back in a jiffy. Okay, so I made it to the end of our row, or well, pretty close, since I'm being kind of a little weird and controversial on this one. We're going to finish our round with a half double crochet. And then we're going to do a slip stitch in this first chain 2 that we're going to consider as our first half double crochet. And if it'll let me. There we go. All right. So now we're going to go into, I don't even know how many rows that is. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going into round 8. We're going to do another chain 2. And we're going to do a half double crochet in that next stitch and a front post double crochet in the next front post, half double crochet in the next 3 stitches, front post double crochet in the next stitch. We're going to do half double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and front post in the next stitch. And we're going to keep going that way until we get to the end of the row. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this round, and I will see you at the end of the round. Okay. We made it to the end of our row. So we're going to finish up by putting that last half double crochet in there and our slip stitch in that chain 2, that top chain of the chain 2. And that is it for the front. We're going to go ahead and finish off, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the back. Now let's go ahead and look at the back on the other one that I already created. So on this one, we did a majority of it green on the front. This one we did a majority of it pink. And I think the half, yeah, the H actually did make it bigger, and it looks like it kind of straightened up. So I would say you probably can do either. If you want a larger pad, go ahead and go with the H or the 5mm hook, and then if you want a smaller one, go with the G. All right, so now let's look at the back. You see that the back of it is a little bit simpler. So we want it to be simpler because we want it to lay flat, and we're not going to be seeing that side as much. So as you can see, we're going to do it a little bit different. Okay, so since we used a majority of this to be pink on this side, we're actually going to use a majority of it's going to be green. Now we're going to start out the same way we did with the other one. We're going to do that magic circle. Oh, well. Making sure that that tail end is towards you. We're going to go up and over. All right, we're going to do a chain of 2. That's going to be your first half double crochet. And we're going to do a total of 10. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You'll notice that I actually did pull that thread just a little bit because I like mine a little bit snugger, so I have, you know, a little bit more control. So now we're going to take that tail end and we're going to pull it together so it has that nice tight close fit. I'm going to pull that toward us. We're going to do that slip stitch in that first stitch. And we're going to go through there, do that slip stitch. And the next row, round 2, we're going to do a chain of 2. And we're going to do a half double crochet in that same stitch. So just like we did with the other one, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in each stitch around, until we get to the end of the round. So the first row was 10, so this one you should have a total of 20. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause and I'll see you at the end of the row. Okay, so we're back for round 2. Well, the end of round 2. So at this point you should have 20 stitches. You're going to do a slip stitch in that second chain from your beginning stitch. There you go. And we're going to do a chain 2, start out round 3. In the next stitch, how do I want to do that? Yeah, we're going to do 1 half double crochet. So that first one's going to be half double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, and 1 half double crochet in the next stitch, 2 in the next stitch, and all of these are going to be half double crochets. You can do them in single crochets, but I decided to do them in half double crochets so that I don't have as many stitches that I have to crochet. I have done it with a single crochet and it was very tedious, and I had to do quite a few more rows. I don't remember how many, but I had to do it just right. This way I figured out how to do it so that it was the correct size. and it worked out beautifully. So we're alternating here, we're alternating 1 half double crochet in the next stitch and 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. Now we're doing 2 here. We're going to do 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, and why do we not have the right count? All right. So I put you on pause so I could figure out what I did wrong. And my mistake is right here. I must have been talking. So I did 2, 1. So I got to back it up. And we're going to do 2. Then we're going to do 1. And 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, and you should end the row at 2. And at this point, let's see how many we should have. So I have 20 on this one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, hold on. I already got my count lost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So you should have 29 stitches on that row, I think. Oh, I'm second guessing myself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, yep, I was second guessing myself for a reason. So there should be 30 stitches. Then you're going to join that with a slip stitch at the top of that chain 2. And the next row, what you're going to do is you're going to chain 2, and then you are going to do a double or half double crochet in the next stitch. So that would be 2, and then we're going to do 2 in the next. One, 2, and 1, 2 in. So we're going to be 1, 2, 2 in 1 in each next 2 stitches, and then 2 in the next stitch. So 1 in the next 2 stitches, 2 in the next stitch. All right, I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. All right, so we made it to the end of our row. We're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch in that next one, or in that chain 2 from the beginning of the row. We're going to keep on going. We're going to do a chain of 2, and then we're going to do oh, looks like my phone is about to die, so we're going to have to wrap this up. So we're going to do 3 half double crochets in the next chain and 2 in the next, and you'll keep going through that. You're going to do 3 half double crochets, 2 double crochets, and on around, okay? And I will meet you back when my phone is back charged again and at the end of this row. Okay, so we made it to the end of the row, and I have a recharged phone now, so we're going to continue on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and find our chain 2, slip stitch in there, and that completes round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that completes round 5. So now, if you're noticing that we're seeing a pattern, so this row we did a half double crochet in 1, and then 2 and 1, 1 and 1, 2 and 1, and then the next row we're gonna do that. We did a half double crochet in each one in each stitch, and then 2, and then 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 and all the way around. Although I do see that I made a mistake, so I'll be fixing that here in just a minute. Or is that the one that I did 3? Oh, let me take a look at this. Okay, yeah, that one was 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. Okay, yep. Maybe I didn't make a mistake. So that's 3 and 3. Okay, no, I did not make a mistake. So we've gotten to the point where we're doing a half double crochet in 3 separate stitches, and then 2 and 1. We're going to keep doing this until we're doing 5 half double crochets in the next, or 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches, and then a double crochet in 2. So we're going to keep going to doing that pattern. So the next row we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 4, and then a double crochet, and then we'll keep going that way around, and then the row after that we're going to do 5, and then the double crochet. So I'm going to keep going until I get the next 2 rounds done, and then the last round we're going to do things just a little bit different because we need to make sure that our count is 84. So let's just go ahead and start this next row. So I'm going to do a chain of 2, so that's going to count as your first stitch. So then we're going to do half double crochet, and the next 3 stitches, so that's going to be 4. Then we're going to do a 2 half doubles in the next stitch, and then back to the 4, 1 half double in each of the next 4 stitches, and then 2 in the next. And we're going to keep doing this, and then the next row after this you're going to do 5, and then a 2 and 1. I am going to keep going until I get to the end of not this round but the next round, and then we'll finish that last round together. All right, we got down to the end of the row. I actually went just 1 row beyond what I was going to have you do. So at this point you should have 7 rows done, and then I did an 8th row, and so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8th row. So how you're going to do that 8th row, before I go too much further, you're actually going to do 6. So you're going to do a half double crochet in the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 in the next, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a round. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this row, and if you need to, you can go ahead and pause the video and join me back here after you've done your 8th row. So you're just going to do those 6 and then 2 in 1. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is we're going to do the chain of 2, of course. This row is going to be a little bit different. So at the end of row 8, you should have 80 stitches. We're going to do 1 more row because we need 84 stitches. So to do the division, I only need 4 extra stitches to increase it, 4 extra stitches. So 84 divided, or 80 divided by 4, or yeah, divided by 4 is 20 stitches. So what we need to do is we need to do 19 stitches where we're just doing a half double crochet in the next 19 stitches, and then do 2 in the 20th stitch. So this is what it's going to look like, and we're going to do that all the way around. So So that first chain 2 is 1, and then we're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And then we're going to do 2 stitches, 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. And then we're going to repeat that. We're going to do 19 half double crochet in the next 19 stitches, 2 in the next, and on around to the end. By the time you get to the end of round 9, you should have 84 stitches. I will meet you back here after I get done with mine. Okay, I am back. So we're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch in here. As far as the count is concerned, we have made it to our final row. Now, the biggest thing is, and I did this intentionally because I want you guys to see what you need to do to troubleshoot things if things aren't just quite right. So it looks pretty, right? We've got the right count, right? Now, let's take our front piece. Let's take a look at how the sizing is. You see how it's just not quite measuring up. It's just slightly bigger than what we need, but we still need that 84 count. Now, if you look at the row before, it wasn't quite big enough. So what we're going to do, instead of doing the half double crochet for that last row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip this out and we're going to do a single crochet instead. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. So I did that intentionally because I want you guys to see what you can do when you're troubleshooting stuff. So now instead of doing the chain 2, we're just going to do the chain 1, and then we're going to do a single crochet in the next 19 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. And then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch. Just like as if we were doing the half double, only we're doing a single crochet instead. And we're going to keep on going. We're going to do a single crochet in the next 19 stitches and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and pause here and I'll be right back with you. Okay, we're back. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch in that first actually, you know what? I am actually going to, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you the invisible join when you're doing this kind of thing. So I'm going to clip my yarn. I'm going to use my darning needle. We're going to set our weave in our end in there. All right, so for the invisible end, I'm going to show you how to do that. So we're going to insert our hook into this space right here. See the V right here? We're going to go from the front to the back, insert our hook in there, pull it that way. We don't want it to be too tight, just tight enough where you can kind of see it. And then we're going to insert in the back loop of your first well, actually, technically that would have been your last one. So you also notice that I did skip that first stitch there. All right, so we're going to go in the back there, and you're going to pull it just tight enough where you can kind of see that little V right there. Perfect. Now, I'm actually going to take it one step further because I don't want this to unravel. So I'm going to weave in my end real quick. And when I do, I'm actually going to make sure that I don't go too tight where it changes the size of that stitch. Okay. Now I'm going to go back the other way. And if you would like to go over that a little bit more, I did do a video that has the invisible stitch in it. All right, we're going to set that aside, and I'm going to go ahead and snip my end. You can also just keep on going and using that end to put your seams together, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it that way, and we'll just add it. So now our size, it's still slightly too big, but not enough to really make that big of a difference. I'm just making sure that it's close enough so that we can keep on going. All right, so now on my former one, I just kept on going. I didn't snip the end. I didn't do that invisible join, and I just kept that same yarn on my hook and just kept on going. But we're going to do it this way so you can see how it is going to look. All right, so with your wrong sides together, we're going to insert our hook. Now, normally I would do the standing stitch. Well, you know what? I can do the single crochet standing stitch. Oh, I can't find the end of my yarn. Where's the end of my yarn? There it is. Okay. So we're going to do the single crochet standing stitch, and I'm going to go into this one stitch right here. All right, so I'm going to insert my hook into that little spot right there. Let me go a little bit closer so you can see it. So I'm going to go into that little spot and then that little spot behind it. That's where we're going to insert our hook, but we need to put our yarn on our hook first. I just wanted to show you where you're going to put your stitch once you get your yarn on the hook. Okay, so we're going to get our yarn on our hook, so you're just going to yarn over once, insert our hook, actually we need to go in the back loop, not the front loop. So all right. Now on the back side, you're gonna grab the front loop. So we're gonna the front side, we're gonna grab the back loop, and in the one in the back, we're gonna grab the front loop. All right, so let's grab this. We're gonna yarn over, pull through. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. We're gonna pull through, yarn over, and pull through 2. Then we're going to keep on going. So I'm going to keep my yarns together so that I can crochet over them. So now let's go to the next stitch. We're going to grab the back loop of the front panel and the front loop of the back panel. Do a single crochet. And we're going to do the back loop and the front loop, single crochet. Okay, let's keep going. So the front loop and the front panel, back loop in the back panel, making sure that you matching those up in the very next stitch. Okay, back loop and front loop, single crochet. All right, go in the back loop and in the front loop. Back loop and in front loop, single crochet. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way around till we get to the end of that round. Okay, they should match, your stitches should match up, but if they don't, I'll show you what you need to do when we get to the end of the row. Most of the time we want it to match up perfectly, but with this one you can kind of wing it just a little bit. It's okay. All right, we'll see you at the end of the row, or the end of the round. Okay, so I am almost to the end of mine, but I wanted to kind of give you just a little bit of a tip here, so that if you're ever in a situation where you're just maybe you are maybe 1 or 2 stitches shy of what you actually needed on one side or the other, that's not going to be that big of a deal. You can kind of fib a little bit, kind of wing it a little bit, so that it kind of isn't noticeable. The only person that's going to probably know is you. So what I mean by that, so let's count the front, and I actually did this on purpose. So we actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on my front side, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the other side. Okay, so let's say that that was really true and I actually had an extra one. So what I would do is I would take, so this one has fewer, so I would actually go in here and do 2 stitches in the same one. So I would pick the pink up again and do another stitch. So then we count it again. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So then it kind of matches up, and then it'll be even at the end. And you're not going to notice one way or the other if you have an extra stitch there or not. So but my stitch count was accurate, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out and finish up here. So we're going to continue doing the front loop and back loop, or yeah, the back loop and front loop, sorry. Back loop, front loop, front loop, back loop, and front loop, back loop, and front loop, back loop, and oh, maybe, oh no, it was right. Front loop, back loop, and then front loop, back loop. All right, so here is where we're gonna, you can kind of do this a couple different ways. So I actually like to have kind of just a little bit of a loop here so that I can put this like on a thumbtack, or you know, some kind of something or other, just to hang it up. So it's up to you whether you want to do it here before you close the round, or you can go ahead and close the round and then do an extra thing. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that slip stitch, close that round, and then I'm going to do a chain of no less than 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh gosh, I don't know how to count. So we did 6 there. Okay, then I'm going to skip a stitch. You can skip 2. That'll give you a little bit more of a wider. Let's just go ahead and do that, a little bit wider of a hook. So then we're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch. Now this is how I do it, because I don't like to cut my ends and have to go and do that the whole weaving in thing. And so I'm just going to keep on going. So To finish this off, I'm actually going to do a reverse single crochet around, so it kind of gives it a little bit of flavor at the end here. And to do that, I'm actually going to do a reverse single crochet in that chain that I just made as well. Now this is not going to be perfect and it's going to be a little fiddly, but we're going to do a a chain of 1, and then we're going to do our reverse single crochet in that first stitch, or the first chain. And if you need to, you can use a smaller hook, because as you can see, I'm kind of fighting with mine a little bit here. And then we're going to do it in the next stitch around. Well, maybe. Like I said, it's a little bit fiddly. Okay, there we go. Got to get in the right spot there. And we're going to do it in the next chain. Oh, well, come on. All right, there we go. I'm going to go a little bit closer so you can see where I'm putting the stitch. So we're going to go into this next chain, do the reverse single crochet, and the next chain, the reverse single crochet, and the next chain, reverse single crochet. Now this doesn't have to be perfect, but I find that I skip this one right here and go into the next single crochet and do the reverse single crochet. And we're going to do a reverse single crochet all the way around to this very first one. All right, so let's just do a couple more. There we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this round and come back as soon as I'm about done. Okay, we made it to the other end. And we're going to finish off by putting our last reverse single crochet in that stitch right there. And then one more time, we're actually going to take our hook off, our yarn off our hook, and then we're going to insert our hook into that first reverse single crochet that we did and just pull it through. Now I'm going to go ahead and snip my yarn, and then we're going to weave that in. Now you notice that I didn't do a single crochet or a chain or anything like that on that. And that's just because I'm going to secure it with my weave-in. So how I'm going to do that, I'm just going to kind of go beyond where the insert it was. Insert that right there and pull it nice and tight. Now you can do this inside the reverse single crochet, which I do. I kind of like doing it that way. Yeah, let's get a little bit deeper on that one right there. All right, nice and secure there. And then we're going to go the opposite direction, making sure that you skip over that. Go into the next, that way it secures itself. There we go. All right, so let's snip the end here. Okay, so we got that done. It looks really cool, right? Let me go back here so you can see it. Looks really cool. And I did do this one with the smaller hook. So in my opinion, I kind of like the smaller hook better, but yeah, it is what it is. And then you'll notice that The reverse single crochet, by doing it in the front, it does make it a little bit more stylish, but it doesn't take away from anything when you do it the way I did it here, where you did the reverse single crochet on this side instead. It just depends on what your preference is. If you want it to be more like this, then you would do it the way I did this one and snip the end and then do the add your yarn and then snip your end and do the reverse single crochet here. If you don't mind, then you just don't snip it, and then you keep using the same yarn that you were doing and put those ends together, or put those two pieces together, do that single crochet all the way around, and then do the reverse single crochet. Either way, it doesn't matter which way it's just a preference for you. Myself, I just wanted fewer ends to have to weave in. So not that you had that many anyway, because we were crocheting the doing our crocheting over the ends as we were going. So that's one of the ways that I do things. So, and you'll notice that that back stitch and the front stitch, it created a nice little ridge on either side. So you actually technically could use either side of this pad as a decoration. Depends on how you want it to work. See, that would look cool, and this would look cool. So either way, you got something to look really cool together. Gives you a little bit of a variety there. So, all right, so you have accomplished yet another thing. So we've got this lovely, lovely crochet hot pad, and before we go too far, I do want to give you a couple more tips. So if your stitches feel too tight, loosen your tension for a smoother, more flexible hot pad. You can also use a bigger hook or smaller hook depending on how you are. If it's too tight, use a smaller hook to get in there. If it's too loose or whatnot, use a bigger one. Double check both panels to make sure that they're the same size before joining to keep the shape and consistency. So as you can see, I made sure that not only did I count my stitches before I put them together, but I also lined them up and I adjusted as I needed to, because like this one, it was a little bit too big when I got done with those. And so instead of doing that half double, I just did the single crochet on that last row. Crocheting too tightly on the border, try switching to a larger hook for the fishing round. And that's pretty much it. A nice, sturdy, stylish hot pad ready to brighten up your kitchen. This is, like I said before, this is one of my favorite patterns. I've used to have a blue and white set. And you actually could, this is a great thought. So you could do 2 of the hot pads with this size H and then 2 of them with the G. That way you could have 2 big ones and 2 little ones. So you can have one to set your little pans on and one to set your big pans on. And these little ones are great for when you're trying to grab something out of the oven. Or, like if you're holding them both, they grab really well. Are they fireproof? No. So still be cautious. All right. So if you enjoyed this project, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you'll never miss a new tutorial. If you have questions or you want to show off your hot pad, drop me a comment below. I love those comments. So keep them rolling. I love seeing what you guys have to say, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. This helps me understand what I need to do better for you or what I can do more of for you. So that really does help me to help you. So drop me some comments, or you can look me up on social media and tag me in a post of what your creations are. But in the meantime, happy crocheting. I'll see you in the next one.